Hello and welcome to Car Free Conversations. This is a podcast where we talk about making the most of St. Pete without the use of a car. I'm Domenico,
And I'm Sumitra.
and you're listening to Sunshine 96.7 Radio St. Pete. Today, we have a special guest, Alfonso Hernandez, with us. Hello, Alfonso.
Hi, how are you guys?
Alfonso is the Car Free St. Pete social media coordinator, and we're going to talk about helmets and safety today. But before we do that, we're going to, I guess, break the ice with with the helmet safety trivia. Um, Sumitra, why don't you get us started with this special icebreaker?
Sure. Alfonso, these are kind of, helmet trivia questions. I'm sure you'll know answers to all of them. So we'll
We'll
see.
see, we'll see.
What year did the first modern bike helmet become commercially available?
Ooh, I wanna say 1940s, 1942.
You would
No, that was the war, so
Much later.
you
much
would think
later.
we would have helmets.
Because I was like, I was like, in those, they were using helmets for other things, So
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, 1965 then.
Later than that, which is
Wow.
fine. I know, which
Commercially available. So 1980s?
1975.
75. Okay.
Isn't that
Okay.
wild? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
I
kind of
feel like, yeah, I feel like, well, I guess before it wasn't as dangerous to bike
Well,
until that
mm,
time because that's when cars
yeah,
started to take over a little bit more, I would say, maybe.
I, I think post-war, yeah, like 1950s when like the cars became ubiquitous with being American. True. Yeah.
oh, how sad.
Yeah.
The next question. Uh, what material are most modern bike helmets made of?
Some sort of styrofoam, right? Like,
Uh, yeah, pretty much. It's EPS foam, so it stands for
uh,
expanded polystyrene foam. Um, I don't know how closely it is related to like the styrofoam we get, the one.
right, right. That one breaks right away. But
I
this
think
one, this one is durable for sure.
I
Yeah,
think it's a much denser form.
yeah, it is.
Right, right.
Let's see. Third one. This is a true or false question.
Okay.
It's important to replace your bike helmet every 5 years, regardless of visible damage.
I wanna say false. I wanna say that you have to change your helmet whenever you do see visual damage, like a crack or something like that. But other than that, you're good.
It's actually true.
I didn't know that.
Ooh.
I
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Which means I have to change my helmet pretty soon.
I have to change my helmet soon too. I mean, I still have. I got it 4 years ago, so I still have one more year to go. So,
I think I got mine pre-pandemic, which means I have to change mine.
oh
oh,
wow,
that's true.
that was 4 years ago
20, that
already.
was 2020. You're right. So then mine is definitely maybe 5 years. Oh, oh, good to know. But I've been wearing this one for a while, so I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's still here.
Yeah, same. I've been wearing the helmet I have right now for a while. I'm glad it's still here.
I have another foam related question. What is the primary purpose of the EPS foam inside the bike helmet?
To absorb the heat.
Yeah, absorb the impact energy in the event of a crash. I guess the foam is good at absorbing that.
Right, right. I
That
think all those foams are like designed to, expand the waves, or like the wave doesn't travels like away from to all the foam rather than one point. Probably that's what it does.
Yeah, I think that's why like the dense foam is really important to use in a helmet. Um, What percentage of head injuries can be prevented by wearing a properly fitted bike helmet?
Ooh, I did a post about this the other day actually, and I think it was, if not 50, I want to say 58%, but maybe it was 48%. I don't know, but I
It,
want to say 58 because I want to say that it's up there.
flip the
You
digits.
guess the numbers are
Ah,
right.
so 85.
Yeah.
Yes.
85. Okay, it was something with 8 and 5 then. Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
85.
incredible. That's why, like,
Yeah,
whenever I'm riding my bike, I always make sure that I have my helmet with me.
yeah. No, same here. And I bike for work, so I'm more likely to get in an accident by statistics, you know.
I did see a video on the internet recently of a guy who uh, flipped over his bicycle and landed in the street, and a bus like a bus like was basically running over his head, and the helmet like saved him.
What?
Like the
Whoa.
helmet was like wedged underneath the wheel, and he was able
Right.
to just like he was like freaking out, right?
Like to take it out, right?
And he like yeah, he backed up and the helmet was stuck underneath the tire and his head was fine. He like
Wow.
walked away. That's it's a really
Wow.
video. But yeah,
Right.
so it does protect.
And like that, there's many stories that like it's not about, sometimes it's just not about something else that causes the accident. It's just like you fall, you know, or something happens and you fall into the street. You know, you might be in your own path, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. What organization, Alfonso, sets safety standards for bike helmets in the US?
Ooh, definitely not governmental. I doubt it, you know, because if not, it would be like maybe the Department of Transportation or the health, whatever the health department is of the government or something like that. Um,
It's actually the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So I believe
okay, that makes sense.
yeah, so I think it is a government agency,
Right.
but it's the Consumer Product Safety Commission,
Right,
which
because I guess the helmets and all the safety equipment for recreational activity is sold still, so
right. So it's
so
to
it has
protect the
to be
consumer, I
the
guess.
consumer, right? Like if
Right.
you're selling a helmet that says you protects you from a crash, it has to
It
be
better
true.
do that, yeah, because
Right.
that would suck if you're wearing a helmet for all these years and then you get into an accident and it doesn't do its job.
Yeah.
So
And I think that happens. I don't know if here in the US, but I know that at least where I'm from, I think happens a lot with kids' helmets that they're treated more like toys, you
Hmm.
know, so they're not like up to I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that they're not up to standard. I hope that they are, but they look more like toys than than a real helmet, I would say, you know. And I know that they're not going fast or anything like that, but I'm sure here they make sure that they're safe, I want to say. The US is good at that, I would say.
Yeah. Also, like, I hope the kids' helmets are the ones that are actually more stringent
yeah, I
because
hope
Yeah,
so.
your head is more softer as a kid.
right, right.
Uh,
And it's the law too, at least
yeah,
here in the
that,
US,
yeah, yeah.
until you're 16 at least. So
What is the recommended way to check if a bike helmet fits properly?
well, first it's just like it goes around, just like a hat. I would say that's the easiest way. It's just like if it fits like a hat, like kind of like just sits in your head comfortably without being too tight or too loose, you're good. There's another things that we could get more specific about, but mainly it's just like if it fits like a hat comfortably, you're good to go, I think.
Yeah, it should like sit level on your head and it
Right,
should
just like
equal
yeah.
pressure around. Yeah.
Um, true or false? It's okay to wear a baseball cap or other headgear under a bike helmet.
Whoa. I want to say false.
The answer is false.
Yeah, I want to say false because well, to me, it's always uncomfortable to wear hats underneath my helmet. It never feels right when I'm wearing a hat underneath my helmet, other than like a bike hat that they are like very thin and they are for wearing underneath helmets, you know. And I know they're like a little bit trendy now. Like people wear them like outside of biking, you know. But yeah, they use them like they're the classic ones that have like the visors like always up like that, and
Oh,
it
I
looks
see
like
that. Yeah.
like an almost like an egg shape, you know. But it looks like that, and they always write things on there and stuff like that. But I want to, yeah, no, because it's uncomfortable and it might like jeopardize how your helmet is fitted to your head if you're wearing it. That it might be a little bit looser, you know. It might not be covering as much as of your head as you wanted to cover in the case of an accident. So yeah, I'm glad this is not the case.
What is the name of the strap that goes under your chin to secure the helmet?
Chin strap.
Yes. I'm laughing because like for a second I was like, wait, is it called something else that I don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a chin strap, but it's also called a retention system.
Okay, that's more
Retention systems
serious.
overkill. But chin strap, I honestly thought it was just a type of beard.
I mean,
Good to know.
it
It's like,
is as well, but yeah.
yeah, chin strap. I mean, that's how I call it, and I think everybody does that, you know. So I think it's good that it's the official name as well. Trick question. I think it is. You know, it's to like trick you. Like, is it something more? But
Well, this next one's kind of an easier one. This is the last question.
okay,
The stakes are high, but the question is not hard.
let's
What
see.
should you do if your bike helmet sustains a significant impact or shows signs of damage?
Throw it away and buy a new one.
Yeah, replace it immediately, as its
Yeah,
ability to protect you in a crash may be compromised.
yeah,
Special thanks to Nicole for putting these questions together. Thank you,
Ah,
Nicole. Um,
yeah. Nice.
these are great safety helmet questions. Um, and now we're going to move on to talking about safety and helmets. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Car Free Conversations on Radio St. Pete. And with us is Alfonso Hernandez, who is the Car Free St. Pete social media coordinator and our resident helmet expert. Why don't you tell us a little bit first about your journey with Car Free St. Pete, Alfonso? Tell us how what motivated you to get involved and how do you participate?
Yeah. So last year in May, I came back from living a year in Chile, where I'm from. I had to go back and I had to just be there for a little bit. So I spent a year there in the big city. And there I moved myself with the metro system or the bus or my skateboard. And it was very easy for me to move there, to move around the city. And this is like an 8 million people city. So it's huge, right?
was it Santiago?
Santiago, yeah, it was Santiago. Yeah, I lived in the thick of it, and so I really like being able to move anywhere without a car. So then when I moved here to St. Pete, I still, you know, I had a bike here that I had left from before leaving, and I was like, I told my partner, I was like, I want to keep moving as little as I can in a car, you know, because it I don't enjoy it anymore, you know, and so and then I got really involved in like all the car free, you know, like information. I started reading books about urbanism and city planning and all that kind of stuff. I started researching online, and it's funny. My partner was like, "Alfonso, I agree with you, and I love that you're passionate about this, but you need someone to talk about this because I know everything I need to know. That you've told me that we need more bike lanes and we need whatever, you know, and all those things." So she was like, "Why don't you search something here in St. Pete, you know?" And so I stumbled into Car Free St. Pete and I started following them and you know and reading about what they were posting and stuff like that. And then I didn't had a job at the time, and she was like, "Why don't you ask them if you can volunteer for them? You know, to since you are so passionate about this." And so I reached out to Nicole, and she was like, "Yeah, we need a social media person, and it would be great to work together with this. So and that was last August. So it's been a journey for sure. It's been great.
Well, we're
Yeah.
very glad to have you. The stuff that you do for us is invaluable. So
Thank
um,
you.
I'm so glad that you found us. And it's interesting to hear about public transit in cities that like you've never been to, right? I haven't been to Santiago.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's not on a lot of people's radar, but to think that they have this, awesome public transportation system is really admirable.
Yeah.
Um, Most American cities don't have great public transit, so
No, I don't. It's cool because for this Christmas, my partner got me a book of all the major public transit systems in the world, and it shows all the maps. So like this, the city map of where the lines of the metro goes, and it's just fun to watch all of them. And there's a few cities in that I was surprised to see. I saw Miami. Miami has the line, not too big, and Miami is definitely not known for public transit, but a few ones that were like, okay. And I think, I think we all love to say like, buses, whatever, or whatever. And a lot of people talk bad about the public transit system in Santiago too. But I always try to take, as a car free enthusiast, I'm like, I will take as whatever I have, and I will try to enjoy it and try to make it better if I can. But if I not, I will use it either way.
Yeah, it's funny, right? I grew up in Mumbai, which also
Hmm.
has like a really robust public transit system, and it's still
Hmm.
like not enough, but it's there. And they are building like metro systems like crazy right now. But I
Right.
remember when I was living there, I would always complain about the trains, but I would also take them constantly because I was like, this is the most convenient way to get around. And I was like,
Yeah.
and then when I moved from there to first to Chicago and then to St. Pete, I was like, oh, I miss having the public. I would rather have something to complain about.
Right. Right.
uh,
The
which,
grass is always greener.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so, you spoke a little bit about your experience of like taking metro and buses like in Santiago. In your
Yeah.
opinion, what are some of the key benefits of promoting like car-free living in urban areas like St. Pete?
I think it's just, I mean, oh, as you guys know, I can talk about this forever, but I think it's just beneficial because you're just giving people more options, right? You're like, car is one option and it's right here and it will not go anywhere. You can get in your car and go wherever you want, almost in any city in the world. Even in Amsterdam, you can get a car. you know but having all of these other options is good because sometimes you don't want to drive or you don't want to take the bike or whatever, so you take the bus or you take the light rail or you take the bike path. And I think people love making excuses to not take the transit or bike around. But I think it's the benefit is having these options that, parking is gonna be expensive. Take the bus. Oh, like I'm too tired to drive, I'm gonna fall asleep. Take the bus. You can sleep in the bus and be recharged for when you get there.
it solves
You
a lot of
know,
problems. It does.
yeah, and you can do whatever you want when you're not driving. In the car, in the bike, you are driving the bike, but when you are in a light rail or in a bus in Sunrunner, you can read, you can do many other things that otherwise you would have to spend driving your car or driving, your bike. But I don't want to talk bad about bikes, but there's things that you can advance if you're going to work. You can take your laptop out and things like that. I think, well, with buses, we all know that they decrease traffic, and I think traffic as St. Pete is growing and growing, and more people are moving into the Bay Area, with Tampa, St. Pete, and all the peninsula. I think traffic is going to become a, a lot. It's going to keep growing. And if we all choose to drive, it will be bad. It will be bad. That's not if it gets bad. It will get bad, you know, and a bus can fit 50, 60, 70 people, you know, that's 70 cars that are out of the street if 70 people do
Yeah.
take the bus,
People don't
you
think.
know, and 70 cars is more than a mile, I would say. I don't know how long, but it's definitely plenty. It's a whole traffic jam, 70 cars, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah, I always love those graphics where they show like 60 people with 60 cars versus 60 people in one bus versus 60 people on their bicycles. It's like the amount of space that cars take on our street is like so crazy, especially in the US where like car sizes are
huge.
incredibly like crazy.
I have
Like,
friends that they have like SUVs and vans, and I'm like, why?
Yeah,
What are you hauling? What are
yeah,
you hauling in your pickup, in your F-150 or whatever? Where are you going?
yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
going.
it's funny because I saw a video a few days ago of this guy that he was making like a docu little documentary series in YouTube. It was a YouTube video, but he was talking about the size of these trucks, and he literally the first shot of the video was him standing inside of the engine box of the truck because his body could fit inside of it because there was enough space for him to just stand inside the engine to the ground and say, "Hello, welcome to
mhm.
why why trucks are so big here in the US," you know, and it just showed us how much just empty space there is in these trucks. It's not even the bed or the cabin. In the engine itself, there is enough space for a man to sit there comfortably, to stand there comfortably. Shrink it down. Shrink it down. It's all we need. But
Yeah, I also love like those pictures of like older trucks versus newer trucks and how the bed is the same, and yet the older trucks were so much smaller than like the newer trucks.
yeah,
Which is I always love seeing those. I was like, oh, we have known this. It's like, preaching to the choir a little bit.
yeah. And it's interesting also, like, as I got into this journey of car freedom, it's like coming from Chile, where even the cars over there are smaller than here. We don't have F-150s in Chile. Like, they don't exist. Or maybe like the Rams, maybe those ones exist like here and there, but there's just no, well, first there's no space for them because like we are smaller than the US and we have a different terrain and everything. And it's just like crazy to see how like here you have this, yeah, you have the space for those cars, but that doesn't mean that you have to use the space that way. You know, and I think that's a big thing in urbanist, you know, it's like how to utilize the space the best way possible. And a lot of the time, roads and surface level parking lots are not the best way of using space.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of other countries outside of the US, like having a truck is not normal. Like especially if you live in a city, right? Like that's usually something that only maybe farmers might have, like because
Right, in
they're
the countryside, maybe construction workers or something
yeah.
like that.
Or even like, like no one drives like a personal truck. They're always like trucks that companies use usually.
Yeah, yeah,
uh, which is always like a big contrast that I have noticed.
Let's go back to talking about bicycles. That's what we're here
yeah,
for.
yeah, sure.
But Alfonso, you came up with the Rock Your Helmet campaign.
Yeah.
Um, tell us about why encouraging more people to wear helmets is important to you.
Well, like I said, I ride my bike for to work, and I live very close to the Pinellas Trail, so I just go and grab it and go downtown and go to my job, and I see a lot of people there, and it makes me happy to see the trail busy. I always see it busy in the morning and in the in the afternoon. I see it busy, but very rarely people are wearing helmets. At least the ones that look like they're not in a speed bike training for a triathlon, or something like that. Those people are always wearing their helmets, and it's good, right? But the people that are just like strolling around or maybe commuting, just like me, I don't see much of wearing helmet, and I feel like what prompted me to the idea is that like I see a lot of e-bikes. E-bikes are like everywhere now, and I have nothing against e-bikes. They're great. They make it easier for people that are not too used to biking and all that. But those things go fast, and if you get in an accident at 20 miles per hour in an e-bike that you are already like not even pedaling, so you're not controlling the speed that much or anything, it can get bad. And the helmet is that first. It's like wearing your seatbelt in your car. It's that almost the only thing that can prevent you from dying, in a situation, in an accident that can be bad, not minor accidents, you can be fine or not, but just like in a car, you can be fine without a seatbelt in some occasions, but very rarely, so and then the name of the Rock Your Helmet came with like, I was biking with my partner and we were just debating. It's like we were just going for like half a mile of a bike ride, and we were like, should we bring our helmets? And we were just like, you know what? I just said, you just have to rock your helmet. I said, you have to wear it, and people can say you look lame, or it might be lame to wear your helmet, or it's a hassle to like take it out and put it on, and it's just an extra step, but it takes 2 seconds to put it on if you have it right next to your bike. And again, accidents are called accidents for a reason. You never know when they're gonna happen. So always be prepared and rock your helmet. Just and the thing is like now there's so many different companies making so many different helmets that if lame is the reason that you're using for not wearing your helmet, it's like buy a cool helmet then. Buy the coolest helmet that you want in your opinion, and wear it. But you just have to rock it, so that's how the idea came, and I feel like it's like you know a cool way of saying like use your helmet.
Yeah, that's like important to actually like let people know that you can have a really cool helmet that you actually like to wear. You don't have to stick to something that you don't like. Like of course safety is important as well, but it's like let's figure out like how to make it also like something that you like doing, which is always a great way to reach more people.
Exactly.
And so I know you and some of our fellow Car Free St. Pete committee members recently became certified helmet fitters. Can you walk us through how to fit your helmet?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I know
For
both Dom and I have our helmets like right here.
I
So we're
do.
able to.
Mine's brand new.
yeah,
I actually don't have a bicycle, but I have this helmet and I'm going to follow your steps. And
So
nice.
this is a cool helmet. I think this
It
is a
that
looks it looks like mine. It's the same
that is
style.
a very cool helmet.
yeah,
Oh,
just a
wow.
matte black.
So we all have matte finished helmets.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the matte looks better than the
Yes, I
glossy.
think so.
I don't know. It almost looks like a skater helmet for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
I
maybe
think
it's,
we all have cool helmets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you. Yes. So we're gonna walk through this.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented on our show to do visual a visual thing on the radio. So
Because podcast and radio are famously visual mediums. Yes.
Right. Well, I can talk as much as I can for our audio listeners out there. Well, we all know what the first step is to put a helmet on, and that is putting it on your head.
well, wait, I have a bandana on. Do I have to take my bandana off before I?
Well, I guess that takes us back to the question of the where you wear your hat or not wearing them, and that wearing your helmet. I think bandanas could act as that bike hat, because they're kind of flat. I think it's up to you whether it does fit well or not. If it's the bandana is too thick, if it doesn't feel like it fits right, I wouldn't wear the bandana. But if it does, I think yes. For our listeners out there, I think for the most part, just have your head out and then put the bandana or your hat when you get to your destination or something like that.
I'm
Dom,
taking it off. What?
Dom, you also wear a bandana all the time. So it feels like,
I do, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
you do.
part of my head, but
Yeah.
It does fit a little bit better without the bandana, so I'm just not gonna wear the bandana.
There you go.
It's
So
luckily a bandana I can fold it and put it in my pocket, so I can just wear.
right, right. So then your helmet has to be like, centered, what the rule of thumb is, it has to be like two fingers, your middle and your pointing finger from your eyebrow. So people at home do that, and if it's right there, that should be good. And that means that it's level in the back. You don't have to check that much, but if it's 2 fingers away from your eyebrows, it should be good. And
That that's
then
that's a good thing to say because I always feel like the helmet is sitting too high up on my head, but the two fingers above your eye.
I would say the thing that I see the most on people wearing helmets on the trail is that they're wearing them like, like super up in their heads. And because, I know that also St. Pete is very touristy, and a lot of bike rental places are there, and they're just like, here's your helmet, and it's a basic helmet. Again, wear your helmets, right? But people don't know how to really wear them. They're just like, it's in my head, so I'm done. It's kind of like those people that will put their seatbelt behind their backs just to wear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure it's leveled, and it's gonna feel way more comfortable if it's leveled also. And
So
then if you already have,
let's
uh-huh.
wait. So what we did is we made sure that our helmet was on our head. We made sure that we are not wearing any hats or any other headwear. Dom also took off his bandana, which is shocking. Uh, uh, and then And then we made sure that the helmet is level, front and back. And also we made sure that we have 2 fingers between the helmet and our eyebrow.
Yes, exactly. Then you're gonna, if you have worn your helmet before, it might be a little bit more adjusted to you, but this is where it gets like a little bit more, technical, that people may not know. The other rule of thumb, you're gonna use your hands a lot, right? Is that the chin strap that goes underneath your chin has to, it can be able to go up in through your chin, so it can do this, for example. So I don't know how I can explain that
Oh, it has to
for
go
our listener.
under your
So
chin, not.
under your chin, and it can be able to go over that chin. Now I'm pulling a little bit down, but it can be able to, if you do this, it can be able to go over your chin, because that means that in a case of a fall, the helmet might come off and get off your head
I
if
see.
it comes above that chin strap.
So it shouldn't come above the chin.
It should not. No,
It has
it
to
should
be
not be
comfortably
able to
underneath your chin. Okay.
to. And I would say try to fit your helmet almost every time that you get on your bike, because the straps move around. I fit it all the time, and now, for example, I was able to put it on. And then I think then the rule is just like, if you have a few fingers that you can put in, I think it's good. The idea is not that you have it super tight. The idea is that, like, you can still breathe, but like if you do a gentle push up, it doesn't go over your chin. That's the main thing. And then most helmets will create a little V coming from the side where the chin strap starts, and it will do like a V over your ear almost. So the idea is that V, a lot of them will have the adjustability right there in that V, and that little, I don't know how do you call these? How would you call these?
They're
Just
like they're like the adjustable brackets.
right, right. So where the adjustable brackets is, you want that to sit right underneath your earlobe. So not too high, not too low, but almost right. Not touching it either, but like if you're looking at your side, you want it to to be right underneath your earlobe, and that means that it's right. It helps to be tucked into your whole head pretty much.
I'm struggling here, but I think I'm making some progress. with the chin.
Yeah, the very first time, for listeners, the very first time that you fit your helmet, it will be the hardest. So Dom here just opened his brand new helmet. So so definitely, because it usually they come very loose at the beginning, and or they'll come with the things so you can just adjust it. But once it's adjusted, usually stays around the same thing. Like I was mentioning, always make sure that that chin strap is well secured, and that those adjustable things in your sides sit right underneath your earlobes. And and then the rule, if you want to check if it's well made, you just check your head, and if it moves a lot, then that means that it needs a little bit adjusting. But if it feels very well, set there, that means that it's fitted, and that's pretty much it.
I have to say, taking the time to, adjust it and make sure it fits well, it, it it is a lot more comfortable than I thought it was going to be. Now I'm at an advantage because my helmet, I don't know if all helmets have this, but it has this thing in the back, this little
Yes.
dial, and you
Yes.
can turn it. Is that standard?
Yeah.
A lot of helmets have that, I think, so
You
they don't have to make like a one size thing.
Right. So it's like a little
Yeah.
dial in the back, and when you turn it, it like tightens the sides of it, and or you can like loosen it.
Yeah.
And I have
I
I also have to say I've grown, for those of you who can't see, I've grown out my luscious Mediterranean hair. And I feel like that's also adding a little bit of padding in there.
For sure. Yeah, the afro works.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if this is like something that all helmets that have this adjustable thing in the back have, but most of the time, if you are tightening the helmet, it will make a click sound. So
Yeah.
mine makes a click sound when I'm tightening it, and when I'm
Interesting.
not, when I'm running to the other side, it doesn't make a click sound. So that way, when you have it in your head, you can know that you're tightening it if it clicks. But I don't know if that's like a universal thing, but I think a lot of helmets use that feature to also tell you that you are tightening it or untightening your helmet.
And now tell us about this bobblehead test that I've heard about.
Yeah, so that's what I was telling you. Like the last thing to see if your helmet is well fitted, you just move your head like like a bubble head,
Oh, I
side to side, front to back, and make sure that your helmet is still those two fingers up, still well fitted, and do the double checks of all the things. The most important ones is, I would say, is the level, and then the chin strap not being able to go over your chin. And if those two things are there, I would say for the most part your helmet is well fitted. And again, this is a helmet, you're gonna be in a bike, it's gonna be moving, you're gonna be moving and stuff like that. So again, after a few rides, check if it's still fitted correctly, adjusted if it needs to be adjusted, and do that repeatedly. So that way it doesn't feel like the very first time every time, you know, because that way it will be less of a hassle,
Yeah.
and that way it will make you feel like you can just grab it and put it on, and that way it's those little things that we want to like make sure that people have already, so it encourages them to wear their helmets, and it's not like, oh, I have to adjust it again, or oh, it doesn't feel right, or oh, it looks lame. Like I said, buy a cool helmet, adjust your cool helmet, and that way you don't have to worry about it late, that much.
I want to make a note on so we all have matte finished, colors, but the variation in style, like Samitra's has like a really nice form factor. Like it fits, it doesn't it doesn't appear as large as mine. Like it looks more like you look like you have like an aerodynamic helmet for like racing if you were to race.
Well,
Yeah.
it also has a visor on it, which I like.
Oh, it helps with the sun, I guess. You have
Yep.
like
Yeah, yeah. It looks
professional.
like a mountain bike helmet
Yeah.
almost, I would say. Yeah, ours, me and Dom's are almost like skate helmets, just like you were
Yeah,
saying, like skateboarding helmets, or like maybe BMX helmets, like people
Mhm.
like that would wear a helmet like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's something that I have struggled before. I'm like, I look like a mushroom, I would say, or I look like, like a a bullet man or whatever. But that's what I keep repeating in my head. Alfonso, just rock it. If you rock it and you feel confident with your helmet on, who cares? And I mean, people, this can be applied to a lot of aspects of your life. Just be confident with it,
Philosophy.
but yeah, and that's the thing. If you're not comfortable with your helmet, get a new one, or if you're new in this journey of getting a helmet, do your research. There is many nice brands out there that are doing good things for helmets. There is some helmets that, for example, mine has a visor, and it has these holes right in the
Yeah.
rim that I can just attach the visor to it. And there's ones that have magnets, so you can put a magnetic light on your helmet, or I mean, mine has stickers too. You can style your helmet with stickers, and that's the good thing about having these helmets like mine and Dom, is that we can put stickers on them, because it doesn't have that much holes and things like that, like
Right.
Sunichers has.
And I've also seen helmets that have lights built into them, which are really cool as well. Or they have like reflectors on them as well, so that like you're seen much more prominently, which is nice. I was going to say
Yeah.
something on a lighter note, that as a South Asian person, I was trained for the bobblehead test.
Right. That's true.
Really?
Yeah, it's very natural for you guys. I've
Yes.
heard.
You watch a lot of Bollywood. Tell us about the prizes, Alfonso.
Ah,
You
right.
have a
So
giveaway.
for our listeners out there, the idea of this campaign is that you wear your helmets, and in the social media, we're running this campaign, that if you take a picture with your helmet in the pier, or when you're in Vinoy, or wherever you ride your bike, or your skates or your skateboard, any of those. The idea is that you wear your helmet, right? No matter what you're riding. You can snap a picture. You in the photos, we have to be able to see that you are wearing your helmet. These photos have to be posted in Instagram, and you have to tag us in the photo. So add Carfree St. Pete and use the hashtags Carfree St. Pete and rock your helmet. You have to post this photo before May 31st, which is actually the end of bike month, which is May's bike month, for everybody that didn't know that. And that's just the rules of how to enter this giveaway. And we have three main prizes. We put up a few names to these prizes. So the first one is the day night at the fairgrounds. So we all know the fairgrounds. They have a cool events going on there, and stuff like that. And so you will win 2 free tickets to the fairgrounds, plus a $20 gift card for Red Mesa Cantina, and then a selection of 2 books donated by Tombola Books. So that's the day night package.
That's a nice
Uh,
prize. You could
yeah,
all,
I
Yes.
actually
Very nice price.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I haven't really gone to Red Mesa Cantina, but I've heard around good things. The second one is Bike for Two, which is you get 2 free tune-ups from ABC Bicycles. That's where I get my bike tuned, and they're great. They're the local Trek store here in St. Pete, and they're friendly, good, and all that. And so 2 tune-ups for free. The value of those tune-ups can go up to, like, I think $85 or something like that. So you're saving a buck there. Then also includes the gift card, the $20 gift card to Red Mesa Cantina again, and 2 books from Tombola Books as well. And then the last prize is the Foodies Adventure that we called, and it's a $25 gift card to Big Catch at Salt Creek. which is very good. I've been there and
Very good. Yes.
I got good food there. $20 gift card to Red Mesa Cantina, and then a selection of 5 books from Tombola Books.
Wow.
So
Tombola books
yeah,
coming through with the prizes.
yeah,
Jeez.
they definitely
Wow.
definitely came in hot. We asked them and they provided. And for anyone that doesn't know Tombola Books, is right next to a Sunrunner stop in downtown.
It is.
So they're also very car-free friendly.
Mm.
Is it like 5 books, any books, or are they going to make the selection?
So we have a selection of a few books that we already have the books. Some of them are like, normal novels. There's a few of them that like have to do with like, I think urbanism or biking or something like that. But most of them is just random. I would say a random selection of books. There's stories. There's a horror one, I know. So yeah, I that's why we say selections, so that way you can choose your preference. We all like to read different things, so we didn't want to pick specific ones for each one, but when you get the prices, you will be able to pick at first come first serve basis, I would say.
From a limited pool of books. I see.
Yes, yeah, it is a limited pool of books, not just all. But regardless, I saw some of the books. I know a few of them, and they're in very well condition. They're new books, so yeah. And Red Mesa Cantina also came through with those gift cards.
Yeah.
Very very
It's
thankful for that as well.
a nice little outdoor area.
Yeah. So
And
just remember, you just have to post a picture of your kids, of yourself, using your helmet, rocking your helmet. You have to use the tag
Rocking,
us,
not just
rocking your
wearing
helmet.
it. You have
No,
to.
rocking your helmet. The more you're rocking, the better. Use the
Yes.
hashtag
Maybe
CarFreeStampede and the hashtag rock your helmet, and you're good to go.
maybe even do the bobble test, do a little Bollywood.
Yeah, yeah. Be creative. It can be a photo or a reel or a video, as long as we're tagging it and you follow the rules. It can be a video or yeah, maybe Sumitra, you should submit like a Bollywood dance with your helmet.
no, I was going to say, now I'm expecting this from Dom.
You want me to do a Bollywood dance? I have to catch up on my Bollywood.
Instantly canceled. Come on. Let's
I feel like I've been put in a position where I'm canceled if I don't do it, and I've canceled it.
Literally.
Wow. Well, that concludes our bike helmet segment here with Car Free Conversations. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, if we do post this on YouTube, so if you want to see us putting on our helmets, you can watch the video. If you look for us on YouTube, Car Free
Yeah.
Conversations, you'll find it.
And if you
And
follow
also-
us on Instagram, also we will be posting. We have, I think we have a really cool reel of how to fit your helmet, so you can go there as well. And if you have any questions, leave a comment or anything like that. I most likely will be answering anything that comes that way.
Alfonso, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a really fun way to learn how to fit my helmet to my hand.
Yeah, it was really fun for me too. Really, really, really cool experience.